Testing 1, 2, 3.
watch the film.
What's going on, guys? It is AJ here on the second episode of Let's Watch the Film in quarantine, making something out of nothing. Want to thank our sponsors, the Air Raid certification. If you do not know what that is and you think you know the Air Raid, you better get certified by heading over to airraidcertified.com. Also varfootball.com for your virtual reality needs. And coming soon, Tempo Video. Wait about 2 weeks. Tempo Video is going to change the game for all coaches. The first ever video player to watch your film where you don't need the internet. This is going to go. So anyways, we're here on this second episode, and I decided to continue to do this because I think there could be a need for this. I was looking around YouTube channels and everything's instructional. This is an hour dissertation on 4 verticals or stick. Well, why not just watch film, take some gold as we see it, and continue to move on and maybe show you some film you haven't seen. So for this to work, it's really going to be up to you, the coaches out there, by subscribing to this and to sharing it, because this has to get monetized for this to work, because I have a big vision for this. I'm going to reach out to my Rolodex. Like, for instance, if we're up and running and we had more sponsors and we were getting monetized, I would reach out to Gardner Minshew right now, and he could sit here and analyze this game with us. I would reach out to June when we watched the Hawaii film. All my guys. And it could get really, really interesting. And I think it'd be awesome and something that's not out there. So, again, for this to work, hit the subscribe button. I understand why you have to do that now. I always used to watch videos. Why do they keep saying subscribe? Who cares? Well, it's all about the monetization, how they get stuff going, and we need that to happen for this to continue to go. So this will be our second episode. I'll do this a few more times, and let's just see if there is a proof of concept for this. And furthermore, saying that, let's get into the film. Remember, you can ask questions down here, and people are kind of talking about last night with the half roll. I'm starting to see. Thanks you coaches for coming in. And, you're right. Under center in its day was different, but I'm such a believer in moving the pocket. And if you watch how the Houston Roughnecks this year, how we did it from the gun, you can do it under center the exact same way as far as the footwork. And if you go back and watch the 90s Falcons, you would see exactly that. So let's get into this game. We got the 2018 Washington State Cougars up against Arizona, which was supposed to be a big matchup, and it didn't turn out that way. It turned into a killing. As you see there on the first play, Washington State comes out running 95. And Gardner Minshew, progression, he is the best I've ever seen get to the back on just the swings. He is the best swing route thrower of all time. I've told Mommy, Dad, I've told everybody that. I've never seen a guy throw better swing routes than Gardner Minshew. A little inside zone. Let's see what the front was there. They're playing this kind of three down bear, however you want to look at that, 5-1, 3 down with the outside guys. It's a hard front to run against, yet they bounce it outside, lose contain over there by that end. So now we're here in 2 back versus cover 2. I mean, what is that safety doing over there? If you see this guy coming in, why would you not close to go post safety? I mean, unbelievable. They just run a post right over the middle. The reason why they score 69 points in this game. They are going to get after it. And Gardner's so accurate. And as we get going, I'll tell the story on how I actually coached Gardner in 2018 before he went to Washington State. And pretty interesting stuff. We'll get through this first drive. Oh, man. I hate this defense. And I'm going to start looking at the questions here, but I mean, do y'all see the problems with this defense? And we don't see this in pro ball. It's worked this way in college, and in high school I never saw it. But you got this 3 Cleo prevent here, and you're going to Cleo. That's 5 guys there. These guys are completely uncovered. This defense is not sound for a base defense, and it's causing everybody issues because they're trying to out scheme it and let everybody scatter what they do. What if you were just under center, popped it to number 2, he ran him off, he blocked most dangerous man? That's at least 10 yards if you can execute it. That guy's not going to get there, especially if you do the wide splits. I had this 3 Cleo prevent stuff. Sucks. The meshes were open, but again, he's the best swing route thrower in the nation. Well, since they had success there, I bet you will see 3 Cleo prevent again. Can't wait to see that. Looks like they're in some form of trips 92. Can see both meshes were open. Gets completions. Up. Guys, when something works, defenses are going to go right back to it. And then now this is some inverted way of doing it, but it's essentially 3 Cleo Cleo. And what's the issues again? I mean, this team. No. Let me guess, we're going to see it on 3rd down here too. Just picking up, this is the first drive here in the game. Gardner Minshew. Remember to subscribe if you like it. We need those subscriptions. Keep this thing going. See, draw, if you notice what this defense is doing, they're showing stuff and they're shooting back here, coming up here, down here, out there, in here. But anyways, these guys are instantly bailing out. So I'm telling you now, the screens or a draw with 5-on-3, watch out. And this is inside zone or lead, which is, good. They had numbers there. Let's skip through this. Last game we didn't have an intercut, so it's taking a little bit longer. All right, looks like cover 2. Tampa 2. What do we got over here? Corner. Uh-oh. Man, I really thought Gardner was going to do something there with it. Let's get through this. So 3rd down here. 2 back. They're playing please don't hurt me. Oh yeah. Way to go through his progression right back to the curl swing backside. Depending on who you talk to, this is Sale on the front side. But this shooting galleries with those 3 deep on 3rd down, you got 3 guys in the end zone. Got to be able to complete on that. Ask away on questions. I'm going to stop and look at that after this first drive. I mean, seriously. You're on the 9-yard line with 3 guys in the end zone. Number 3 is uncovered. It's one way of playing football. So they run their version of stick here, get it out quick to the flat, get their completion. Way to fight for it. Pretty much knew he was going there the whole way because of how uncovered everybody was, and that corner was going to have to back up. We're in 2 back. Had a feeling it'd be some type of run right there. Boom, touchdown. So now we're 7-0. Out of 69, so that's 62 more points to go. All right, let's see what we got here. I appreciate everybody watching this right now. pretty much agreeing nobody would see this defense in high school. It'd be hard to run it. Austin saying he went 11 for 12 on the first 2 drives. They scraped it. Now I feel that happened exactly that way too. But we'll keep going. If you get any questions, we got a bunch of shout outs. Had a Jackson Prep comment. Coach Black. Let me tell you what Coach Black did. Okay. This dude, I didn't even notice it happened. It triggered some of our other coaches. Or other people, I should say. But we're playing the state championship. And this guy is the away team and comes out and warms up in his home jerseys just to get the other team to ask, why are you in your home jerseys? Y'all are away. Like, it's going to really throw us off our game. So I gave up 593 points that night. Or excuse me, yards. That was stupid. It's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. But anyways, moving on here. Looks like rotating the man free. Got a gap and a face mask. See, they got out of that 3 down front. Typical 4-2 here. There's the draw that I was saying should go to. I think that would have really, really gashed versus that 3 down they were running with the 2 backers bailing out once they saw pass. But, I think they'll probably show back up. Now here's that look we were seeing. 5 guys come this time. Off the stick, a little TE. Still get it out. Good work there. Mesh, boom. What defense was that? Yeah, so they rotated to 1 out of 2 high. They had 2 guys chasing the swing. That's not good. Boom. Drop step. Ball be on the 1 yard line here. Fade. Interesting. If you want to know analytics, the goal line fade from the 2 yard lines and in is the lowest percentage play you can run in all of football. Now, warrant, if you're coaching in high school, which a lot of users are, and you got a 6'5" guy, and you see a 5'6" corner, which happens all the time in high school football, different story. But let's just say all things were relative. That is the lowest percentage play you can run, and yet you see it over and over and over again. Did they give him the touchdown here, just an inside zone 6-man box? Let's see for ourselves here. Oh, he got in. That's touchdown. That's 14 points. 55 more to go. Yeah, I was with MRA. I was helping out over there, working with Philip Short since I was coaching in the spring, and I was just kind of left over there from my Jackson State days with Hal Mummy. I just kept my place on the lake and coached over there. They run an innovative offense, have a tremendous coaching staff and tremendous culture and administration and coach and assistant coaches as well. All right, rotated man free. We got smash on each side. See, Hal went back to just saying the words, so smash. I forget, what I think it's 8 is the old ways, but, we never said with Hal, because he changed all this from the numbers, but like stick, 618, 8, I think was smash, 619, all that stuff. Hal went completely away from it and just started tagging it by words. And I think it's just so that the signals would match with a word instead of a signal matching with a number. And he thought it was easier for his guys. Speaking of here, let's see this again. So now we're in empty for the first time. So let's see, is there an empty check? We do got double A's and man free. So maybe that was their empty check in this game. You got man free. You kind of had a fox look over to the right for going out. We got a question. Is open six all goes or verticals? Dallas run that play a lot. I think he's talking about the Renegades. So here's the thing with Hal when running six is that even though the play is called six, and this is the same with Leach, boom, just a Larry screen. I mean, I would just do that all freaking day versus this soft defense. The quarterback can change all the routes at any time. So if it's four verticals and the corner's off, boom, X and run a hitch. If there's 4 or 5 in the box like we're seeing in this game, boom, he can check to a draw or inside zone read, whatever. He has the ability, when open six is called, to change to anything he wants there. So that looked like it was trips 95 right there. Went to the back. Again, Gardner Minshew, best swing route thrower of all time. I mean, the best. And it's something about the way he just steps and torques and throws and just on the money. I mean, the best I've ever seen do it. Maybe outside of Joe Montana. One of these runs are going to pop for 80 yards. I can already predict that. So sticking with Gardner in Jackson, Mississippi, since that's been brought up. So I get to Jackson State, and Gardner walks in, and we're going to be working with him the next 4 months. And he had just came from East Carolina and was going to go to Alabama. The story's kind of out there. And, Leach called and said, do you want to ride the bench or you want to play football? And so he wants to play football, but he's too late to roll in the spring, and he's from Jackson, Mississippi, so he moves back home. Hal has a job at Jackson State where I'm his quarterback coach. And, well, Leach was like, well, go learn the air raid from Hal, and once spring's over with, when you can get here in the intermission or whatever it is, you'll be here, but at least you'll be ready to go. So he was showing up to our 5 a.m. workouts. I mean, in our quarterback room, in our offensive rooms. He was out there standing behind the quarterbacks going through the progressions. And, we knew he was going to Washington State. We never really saw him throw, so we didn't know how good he was going to be there. But we knew he was going there, and we knew, it was his job to get. But what was pretty cool in that whole deal, so he's there for 4 months with us, and we're getting to work with him and treating him just like he's a quarterback in our room. And once spring football started, we have that virtual reality VAR system. And so does Washington State. Leach has been using it since 2016, one of the first guys to become a part of it along with Hal. And, oh, man, this I'm rewinding this one back and getting back to my story. Okay, so here's this soft defense. So how do you just destroy a soft defense? First, let's occupy these guys with the mesh. So we got 92. That guy might will. That doesn't matter. This is what Hal calls dagger. And this guy does a great job of taking two. What I mean by that, he's going to take the corner and the safety. This guy's going to get involved with the mesh. I don't know why you don't send them this way. You already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6 guys underneath. Anyways, they're occupied with the mesh. He's taking two here. He's, boom, right there. I mean, cover 2 killer, even though that's kind of some type of off-match defense. Gotta love the dagger. Dagger to him. Let's watch Gardner's footwork here, and I'll continue my story. Remember to ask questions, and I will answer them as I see them. Usually after each drive, I start looking at them. Boom. Guys, and this was supposed to be like a big game. Like, people had Arizona favored in this game, and it's 21-0. Is it still the first quarter? Okay, started to say, so it was 21-0 in the first quarter. Now they got the ball back, 21-0 in the second quarter. So anyways, they start filming all their practices in virtual reality. And so Gardner was coming to us and using our virtual reality stuff, but he was watching Washington State's practice from that day. So he's literally in Jackson, Mississippi, getting zapped up to Washington State, watching their practices in virtual reality every day, running the plays he's going to run, watching his receivers, what their speeds are, getting used to this everything, and he does that for a few months, and then goes up there for summer, and it's like he already knew everything. Well, he was in virtual reality every day, and you know, it put him 3 or 4 months ahead of the game as if he had just shown up and done it. And that's a big testament to Gardner. You know, he was willing to put in the work. He could have just said, "I'm going to do nothing here for 4 months and wait for it because this ain't going to help me till I'm there." But instead, he put in work, and man, it all was a stepping stone or building block to where he did. So this is just how we would say blue 92. Might be green for Leach. Appreciate everybody with their comments, keeping the ball rolling, watching this film during the quarantine. Oh, there's a draw. There you go. Who predicted it? Who predicted it? Who said the draw was going to gash? It's turning into last night real quick. We watched a draw clinic. And anyways, that end stood up. Oh, there's a 3 down. It's exactly so it was going to happen. See, I don't even remember this game. I have like over 10 terabytes worth of film. Okay, excuse me, I don't have 10. I have like 100 terabytes worth of film. I got so much film dating back to the 1970s. I've seen a ton of stuff. I have the run and shoot stuff vaguely memorized. This, I can just see defense tell it was going to pop. I told you if they got the draw called at the right time, and it's going to pop to the left because that end took off, this was going to go. Because they got 2 uncovered because the guy stood into the right guard. Oh, man. Went back and found them. Anyways, if you don't have the draw in, you need it. And you'd be surprised how many people don't run draw that pass. And I think that is a big, big mistake. So we're down here in the red zone now, and this is supposed to be epic matchup. And it was on a Friday night, Thursday night. This is a little quick screen off the flat. We ran a variation of that this year in the XFL. And it was just a total shellacking. That's why I love this game. They just took it to them. And again, if I didn't bring this up, but the Hawaii game was like winning the whole day to break down, and then all of a sudden the air raid went out at the end. Probably had to do with our newsletter and more air raid people finding out. Let's go back to this. All right, y'all vote RPO or play action. We, speaking of MRA, ran RPO. I think it's play action because of how quick he got off it, where if this guy comes, it was post. But it looks like play action because let's see his action. He's not even looking at that safety, so I think it was corner, Z post, Z touchdown. Touchdown's just the result. Yeah, that's definitely not RPO, but you never know. Play action to me. Is that 28 now in the second quarter? So it's 28-14. So they're kind of scoring back, keeping it a little interesting. Here comes this little 3 down front. And what's good about watching this game is that when they get down and they're going to drop these guys, the longer the play extends, the higher the chance. And they get into their own way. They think they're confusing people. Their defense is confusing everybody but themselves because they usually get out of a gap and do something unsound. And against that kind of protection, everyone's just setting back so you can do all the stunts you want. We'll still be here. And so, but as this play extends, see, the defenses continue to break down. That was the point I was going to make. So as long as Gardner can extend the play or just make sure his pocket in one way or form is clean for him to keep letting this play 4, 5, 6, those receivers are going to find the soft spot in the zone. Because even if them playing 8 back the way they are, they're going to have issues. Grass is going to find itself. And that's what we're starting to see here. And, if all this coming up, coming back, coming up, the defense starting to look tired. All right, here's the 3 Cleo look. There it is right there. Just like I'm saying, you can't get pass rush with, oh man, that could have hit. Let's watch it again. And let's kind of dissect what the play is. Okay, so we're in open here. And looks like 95 with what we would call Larry Fox with Hal, and which is a great variation of it. But there's that 3 Cleo, which is going to cause this safety to go here. He's going to see, if this was some type of cover too, you see where he'd just take it here, this guy's up. But this guy's just, we're playing 10 on 11 here, so that grass is there. Gardner extends the play just like I was talking about. Like I said in the beginning, there's a reason why they scored 69. And the best teams in the, I was talking about last night, and we were ridiculing kind of SMU for just how SMU just did not have the athletes to be playing the defense they were playing. And this is, if you're going to play please don't hurt me, like I was saying last night, you got to have a pass rush. Okay? No pass rush and playing please don't hurt me, which is 4 deep, 3 deep, any type of zone coverage. There's going to be issues. So you can see they switch back to man free. And I think a lot of people are scared to play this way versus Leach with the man free stuff because of all the rubs and the mesh routes. And I've seen that firsthand with defensive coordinators when they know they're playing a mesh team. They don't sleep that well at night. They don't like mesh. Okay? All it takes is one guy to screw up mesh, and the play's going for a ton of yards. And that keeps them up at night. So what's simple to you, don't ever forget, is complicated to defense. So it looks like maybe we had double slant back here versus the man free. Yep. Then typically by rule, what I was taught in the last 12 years coaching is that if it's a 5-1 front, you can bet your ass it's man free. But with all this uncovered business, see, in the splits and everything, but with all this uncovered business, that's where they're able to break off into these different please don't hurt me defenses. And very interesting, to say the least. Again, any questions on anything, ask them. And going back to what I was saying about the Hawaii game, the one versus Washington that was 35-28, 2007, that will be my next episode. And literally that episode is winning the whole day, and then the air raid one right here at the end. And we got a Larry Fox, but he extends it, no pass rush, touchdown. No pass. Let's just watch the pass rush. Does anyone pressure the C gaps here? Let's look. No. I mean, 63 is watching the game. There's no one even to block. There's a ton of theories and ideas on stopping the spread. It's now 41-14. Air raid, run and shoot, West Coast. I don't care what you call it. LSU's offense this year. I would never play them and not have any of those teams and not have a pass rush from the outside gaps, ever. But that's just me. And you can't blame this defense. I mean, these guys instantly line up to where they're going to get double teamed in the B gaps. Gardner doing his deal. Okay, he's actually going to scramble. Gardner's sneaky fast. And see, that's another thing too. If Gardner was a scrambler and faster, he would have hurt them already for about 30, 40 yards with his feet. Because again, with no pass rush, he can step up. And again, everybody's spread out trying to cover their zones. Everyone's scrambling. Easy yards right there. I mean, that's easy. What's it now? You got a first down off that. 41-14, by the way. Remember, if you like what you see, subscribe. It is up to you whether it just keeps going. We'll get some guests on this show. Little fly action sweep. Move past that play. And we're still in the second quarter, by the way. Just like last night when I was laughing. It's the same thing. Sale. All right, what defense were they in there? Because last time the Crosso, it looks like two-man with the pill. That's what it looks like. Probably would have liked 21 to continue to go. But again, no pass rush extends the play. Let's see if there are that angles here. See if 21, you feel, yeah, that just depends. It's all relative. It finds them anyways. That's where my eyes were. Just because if two-man with the cell and I got the angle, then you know that linebacker's on my back and 21 can make a guy miss. He's real quick, so that's where I was looking at. Didn't even really watch any other receivers just because my eyes and coverage brought me there. All right, six-man pressure. Oh, oh, come on. Who sniped them? Told you one of these runs. Oh, what kind of run play is that? Let's just get to the end zone. The draw. But here's the thing. The draw is a terrible play versus a 5-1. And they caught him in a six-man pressure. But they slid it and left the edge rusher and just nobody's in the gap. They both went into the same gap. Remember I was talking about when you start getting all this fancy stuff on defense, you're here, I'm there. You leave gaps open and you're tricking nobody but yourself. This is exactly what I was talking about. I guess this is Draw Clinic Part 2. I didn't mean for it to be this way, but that's how it's turning out. Oh, this is dirty. If you've watched Leach game, you've watched them do this many times. This is a good, if you're air raid and you do it by field position, this is a great goal line play. Red zone, but in goal line you usually get defenses in man-to-man. So you get into a trips, F-jet Larry to the F and crack with everybody else. And usually the X might get in position to crack. Worst case scenario, the corner comes off and it's one-on-one with your running back. I have a few clips of this year doing that. That's a great play 10 and in because you should get man-to-man. So again, this is nothing new for you guys that have been watching Leach. That's a staple play right there. If again you're scripting by field position. 48-14 second quarter. They were on pace for 96. This is gonna get some. Oh man, don't toying with them. Well, shoot, we're just trying to get some yardage for upping my stats before halftime. I see all this. You're confusing nobody but yourself. They're just gonna vertical set. That is one of the greatest plays in football, by the way. Just 6 F check or F option, and just get it to the F first. Cover 2, or any type of 2 high look. So now we might just score over 50. 29 seconds left in the first half, and it's supposed to be epic matchup. They bring a 6-man pressure. We're gonna take our shot with X. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. So they're like, oh, he'll just hit the check down versus cover 2. We gotta play man free. So this is similar to last night. Here comes the 9 route. Let's see what play it actually. It might have been, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what the call was? But we know it's X. Go get it, and he goes and gets it versus man free. You gotta love that. Like I said last night, in coaching, it is important to know what to do and just as important to know what not to do. Don't do that. 55-21 was your halftime score. All right, so we're off to the second half. If you got questions, please send them in the live chat. I'm watching it. I'm looking to see what you guys are saying. So not much action's going to be happening here in the second half with them scoring, 69 total. We're already at 50, 55 by the second quarter. One of the great execution plays. A little offsides here. I see a lot of guys running from everywhere to try to get somewhere. I mean, watch this rush here. Confusing nobody. That guy's got a twist with it. Little 3rd and 15 action. Now, this is when you can get into that defense we've been watching. This is a 3rd down defense. But running as a base is insane, in my opinion. Not much going on. All right, second drive in the second half here. Coming out with stick. What defense was that? I always like to dissect defenses. Yeah, the flat defender has to cover that. And that's going out there quick. That's just like the toss play. Easy 6-yard gain there. We got 2 back. Looks like play action, corner, same thing they hit in the red zone. Notice that post kind of been in there. No grass over the top. You're going to say incomplete. Let's watch his eyes again. I think it was the exact same play. We'll see. Just flipped. Why not? X9 versus versus press man. I mean, again, why not? You live by it, you die by it. Look at that catch. Totally dropped it, and God said, "Here you go, catch it." Bounced right off his knees. Okay, interesting. Look at the wide front here now. That would have been great versus draw. So now they're reaching into their playbook. This is new front. 3-2 wide. Got empty. They got out of the double A's. They're staying in this 3-2. Back to the 8 concept out of trips. All right, so we got a few questions in. If you got questions, keep sending them in as we're watching the tail end of this shellacking. What percentage of your plays should be run to pass? That is all relevant to the defense and what they're doing. All things even. We pass to open up the run. So maybe on a good day, 60 to 40 pass, run 40. There's the draw. Oh my gosh. Wait till we see the end zone of this. With all the movement of Arizona, told you this was the go-to run play. Same deal, 2 uncovered. And he slips on his own turf. Oh, that was about to be 10 yards at the very least. Or maybe some games you're 70 past the 30, and maybe some games you're 80 80 passes, 20% run, or 90%. I mean, LSU, didn't they open like 22 straight passes in one game? And then maybe there's one game, they're going to play Please Don't Hurt Me, and you run it 70% of the time. It's just all relevant. And kind of saw it that year, or excuse me, this year with us with XFL. If you noticed, we ran the ball extremely more versus the Seattle Dragons because of the way their defense was playing. And our back was hot, and we rushed for 200 something yards that game, and that was all based on them. They're going to play that way. We're going to do this, and until you give us our passing lanes back. Hey Jay, do you teach the slant rule by the way on 95? Might have to tell me exactly what you mean by that. Um, definitely on 95, and did it with Hal at Jackson, is if we saw blitz, the Y would convert to a slant, if that's what you're saying, off the blitz matrix. So we absolutely would, because he would be hot there. I think more so too, especially if you're running it like Leach with the 10-yard out. You got to have a hot matrix in there for that. But back then your hot would be especially out of blue is the option, but out of open, your guys only going to 5 yards, so you're good there for a hot. But if you're running it with the way Leach is now with the 10-yard out, you got to teach that guy to slant. Up, up. We call this blast. This play really should hit more than it hits, but receivers keep letting the guys cross their face. See, had to miss 2 guys there. Best swing route throw in the nation. All right, let's see what else we got. Have you ever ran choice to the front side with mesh? Nope, we don't do that. We run it like Hal does or do our own thing with it, but we've never done it like that. We don't even run choice anymore the last 3 years with June. Oh! Right in his hands. If you notice the theme here, somebody's open right over the middle almost every play. So let's see our score now. Was that 4th? Excuse me, is that Brown? That's 3rd, and I guess they missed the field goal here. So we still 55. Gardner's still in. Speaking of 95, there's she be. Verse 2 man, 10-yard out. Easy, easy, easy. And if you have it in that way, I think there's a lot of merit to running it that way out of open. But to me, the best 95 goes all the way back to the 70s and 80s with BYU out of blue, and 95, if you have our air raid certification course, 95H option, and running it with the option automatically in the backfield and reading them first. That's how the original way was done, and BYU threw for thousands and thousands of yards, and I still think that is the best way in its truest form, is where it originally came from. Got corner with snag on the backside. Whoop. Easy, quick play out of two back. Real simple. Fourth quarter. Getting some mesh. Are we going to call that? The dude's undressing my guy there. Let's move on from that one. Interesting what happened there. Where are these two touchdowns coming from here at the end? Or up, up, up. We knew that was going to pop. Stick. Do you like a swing or a shoot? It's again all very relative. As you know, speaking to the two godfathers between Mummy and Hal. Hal's preferably a swing, and Mike's a shoot guy. And you know, it's all relative, really. And you know, Hal runs the shoot when he's in, you know, out of trips, and number two is going to run the shoot or flat, however you want to call it. But you know, I think it's your preference. And I'd ask your quarterbacks, because it's the same question to me on a play like Flood. Okay, every guy I've talked to, quarterback, from pros to high school, a lot of them like the flat route over having a swing route because they can see it right in front of them. But there's some guys. Let's look at this. So whenever you see a passing guy go really far out spread, you can almost like guarantee it's about to be a run play, and yet defenses still go all the way out there. I think we or forgot what we call that with Noel. That was old Dart back at UCLA. Jeez. I mean, this is what for Hal we call Friday, and it's just to go out versus cover two. He just, I mean, that's just being better than the other team right there. Definitely calling draw more next year. I'll tell you what, if you're passing it, whether it's QB draw out of empty or just draw to your back, is to me. Now the play, like I was saying last night, way better under center. Like not even close, but still a great play. Best play versus a five-man box. So we still got Gardner in there. We're still running 92. Gardner's still in with the 60-point lead. There's the switch off the 92 there. 9 minutes left. Still doing our thing. Now this is interesting here. Let's see. Could have been some type of play action 6 and told him to stops, but I mean, this is just a shooting gallery. That's what I think too. I think they just tagged that right there. You know, draw out a pistol. I was gonna flirt with that, but you know what? In watching Rolo's film at Hawaii, it never seemed to pop like it does when they're under the gun. And I don't know, and here's we're watching the draw right here, and let's kind of go back, and it's versus front. Now this is a great play if the two backers will shoot out, and they don't, and so it's not that great a play, but still kind of works out to get 2 or 3 yards. Um, and I think it has something to do with the fact that the back is so deep, the ends don't rush quite up the field when they see him hesitate, and that stops them from the heavy pass rush. That's just kind of my guess with that. They're just running the ball here as we're continuing to watch this. But I'm going to definitely mess around with that out of pistol. And, that's just from what I've seen with Rolo's film, that it just did not pop as good in pistol. Still can do it. I remember this play. He just threw it out there, tried to avoid a sack. So we got trips, man free, still in 5 down, still taking shots. Next man up. I mean, this football's not hard. I mean, who to blame here on the defense is relative. They are starting to try to bring a little bit more down, but even with the 5-man pressures, they're not getting there. It's a lot of push up 3 yards, and then they try to do a move, and just no pressure. Oh, absolutely. I remember one time, and Hal loved this. We had like trips 92, okay, and the X's pressed, and our quarterback totally checked to a go route to X in 92. So the whole play don't even look like it's supposed to, but we completed a deep go ball, and he saw it, and Hal's like, great, throw the grass. And key breaker, to say the least, as far as why we have a drag route and a flat route and a individual to Z, and X is running a 9. Well, they're impressed. Little crosser coming across. Boom. 69. There it is. The backup's just now getting in. Let's look at the stats on this. I'm just going to let this play out. Let's see. 2018 Washington State. We're coming to an end here. If you got questions, want to keep this going, send it in now. And if you got any requests for games to watch, my vault is pretty big. There's no game I can't get run and shoot or air raid. Gardner was 43 of 55, 7 touchdown passes, 473 yards, 0 interceptions. They ended up rushing. 2 backs had over 50 yards. Martin had over 124 yards. No receiver over 10 catches. Martin had 7. And there he's catching one right there. Quite a day. And again, I did see a comment like, why are you doing a blowout? This was supposed to be a big match. The other team has Khalil Tate. And this is just execution at its best. And I was proud watching this because, again, of the connection I had to Gardner. And, our year kind of came short at Jackson State. So, and watched a lot of Washington State in 2018, more so than I have in the last 10 years, watching every single game. And awesome. I actually watched this and regret not flying there to watch this game because I knew coaches on both staff and knew Gardner, and it would have been a cool experience, but I was in Jackson. Owen Klingler threw for 700, and it's not 13, is it? It's 700. David Klingler, was it 734? It might be 713. But yes, I have that game. I actually even have the Japanese. That's what I should play. I have the Japanese TV copy because that was in the Tokyo Dome Coca-Cola Classic in 1990, and it was the Houston Cougars versus Arizona State. And that's it. To hear the reaction of those coaches, um, or excuse me, those announcers, is so authentic, and you could kind of hear them making out the names. That's what I should play. That was a fun time. I actually have the whole year 2003. I'd have to look to see if I can find Ole Miss, and it's all on VHS. I think those VHS tapes I haven't converted. I mainly convert all my Beta Tech players. And but yeah, guys, this will be archived again. This is waiting for a proof of concept here. If this thing's gonna go, because I got nothing till December. Uh, and as far as making a new show, which is let's watch the film, and I'm even talking about let's take coaches from high school to whatever, and show us your best game where you set a record here, you had a big game, and let's watch the film. And I'll bring coaches on, and we'll watch it just like we did tonight. And we're watching ball, we're talking through it, we're seeing coverages, we're cussing and discussing, and every now and then you say, "Oh, that's gold right there." And again, to me, let's see if this works. We know all the different little teaching YouTube channels are real big, and you sit there for an hour and listen to God talk about it. But this is the film. Let's see what we can find, all 22, and go through it. Not just with me and a guest, but you too. The question lines will be open. And so, anyways, if you like it, share it. Share it. Say subscribe. We got to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to do a few more shows, and if you can show me we get to 1,000, this will continue to go. That's the number, okay? So tune in next episode 3, 2007 Hawaii versus Washington Huskies, a game they won 35-28 to finish the year undefeated. Till next time, see you guys.